Finally got it right on the right day to do this. So, warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture because it's an orchestrated plan by the man. Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, your Tuesday episode of Quick Hits is on its way like Santa's sleigh next Wednesday. I'm a poet and I know it, and you just allowed me to show it. But on a serious note, disclaimer, for those out there who are just downright mean people and want to tell people that there is no Santa Claus, hurt the kids' feelings, saying there's no Saint Nick and to stop believing in them, you better leave those kids alone. And some of the older folks as well, too, because there were people out there that believed that Aaron Rodgers was going to get the New York Jets to the Super Bowl. And like my man Michael Davis likes to say on his show Out of Pocket, that didn't age well. But we're here at lunch now, and it's lunchtime for you guys. So enjoy your grilled cheese sandwich with the tomato soup or the New England clam chowder, your chicken noodle soup, your vegetable beef. Enjoy your lunch with me, Podcast Smitty. Let's go.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly.
Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon. I'm a fan of sport. And Quick Hits drops every Tuesday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern to give you some witty content and insight on the sports news throughout the week. And after this show is over, do me a favor and go through the Boom Broadcasting lineup for all the shows that'll be dropping on this here YouTube podcast. We have basically everything that you can ask for in a realm of sports. We got a baseball podcast, an NBA podcast. We've got single team content for the Dallas Cowboys, for the Green Bay Packers. We got live shows recapping your sports news, also your wrestling as well. And then we got some things outside of sports, such as a TV and movie podcast. We also have a podcast for your mental, your self-help. If you need that pick-me-up through the week, we've got a show for that as well, too. We've got talented podcasters, talented content creators who put their foot in their work and do a very good job bringing you some great content. So I implore you to go through it. Make sure that you engage with them as well, too. But if you're one of my quick-hitting brothers and sisters, ouch! Welcome back. We have a lot to discuss, so let's start the show. Now, the jersey here is actually Larry Johnson's jersey from when he played for UNLV. So the UNLV Running Rebels, that squad there is one of my favorite college basketball squads. I watched a lot of tape on them. Tart the Shark, rest in peace. LJ, Grandmama, Stacey Augman, Greg Anthony. Shout out to you guys there in the spirit of college basketball season. But we won't be talking college basketball right now. I'm going to do my shout outs. So, I decided to give some shout outs for the weekend. Now, with these shout outs here, some of the shout outs are good shout outs. Some of them are not so shout outs. So here's my bad shout outs for today, my not so shout outs, if you will. So first of all, I didn't get a chance to talk about this last week on Quick Hits, but I'm going to talk about it right now because it has something to do with my favorite squad, the San Francisco 49ers, and that's De'Vondre Campbell. He got his punishment, suspended for 3 games by the 49ers. Looking at it like this, there were speculations and things saying that he was cut as soon as the next day hit, that he was just cut immediately from the team. I think San Francisco did the right thing by suspending him 3 games. They don't have to pay him for 3 games. They can cut him at the end of the season with the season being over. So good for them. But man to man, you probably will never hear this, De'Vondre Campbell. You probably will never hear this. And that's okay with me if you don't. But my 49ers are plagued with injuries. Brandon Ayuk, CMC, Brock Purdy was hurt for a little bit. Jordan Mason was hurt as well, too. We're playing with injuries. Then you had some players that went through personal losses. Trent Williams, the loss of one of his children, Javarius Ward, lost his child, and they were babies. They lost babies. Ricky Pearsall was shot for his watch. And these guys were men and went back to work, and you didn't. What a shame for you. And that says a lot about you there, sir. So you know what? Good riddance, the bad rubbish. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Now, on to the next shout out here, the not so great shout out. At first, I was going to talk about the former coach of this squad, but not so shout out to the Marshall Thundering Herd. Now, their coach, Charles Huff, took a job at Southern Miss. Southern Miss was the worst squad in the Sun Belt Division. So I was kind of wondering, why in the world would a squad that went 10-3 and won the Sun Belt, why would their coach just up and leave? Well, come to find out, Marshall couldn't come with a contract for this man. So he left. I think this man was looking for a contract. He was looking for a new contract because his contract was running out. And Marshall decided, hey, we don't need you, man. You might have won this, but we don't need you. And with that result, Marshall lost 36 players to the transfer portal. And Marshall has to withdraw from their bowl game. And La Tech is playing their bowl game against Army. Well, all I got to say is, Marshall, you should have paid that man because you ended up winning the division title. You won a conference title. Why not pay him? 10-3. Why not? Huh? Sucks to suck. Good job there, Marshall. And last but definitely not least, if you watched any football on Sunday, Jonathan Taylor, 41-yard touchdown got erased because he dropped the ball before he crossed the plane. They could have went up 20-7 on the Denver Broncos. Well, not this time. They erased it. The 41-yard run where he was basically untouched got erased. 24 unanswered points followed, and the Denver Broncos won the game. Tough day at the office. Jonathan Taylor, you gotta cross that ball across the plane, man. You're a veteran. You played the game for a while. You should know this. So, not so shout outs. And now we'll go to the good shout outs. Didn't get to cover this either last week, but shout out to Randy Moss. He took a leave of absence from NFL Countdown. Yes, from NFL Countdown. Sorry about that. Because he has liver cancer. I hate that tremendously, but shout out to Randy Moss. Beat that cancer, man. You were a great football player, one of my favorite receivers, one of my favorite players of all time. The Thanksgiving game, 3 catches, over 170-some yards and 3 touchdowns. Probably one of the greatest Thanksgiving games of all time. Moss was a bad dude. I wish you would have won that Super Bowl ring with Randall Cunningham, Robert Smith, and Chris Carter on that very dangerous Minnesota offense. Wish you would have won a ring off that. But you know what? That's okay. But Randy Moss, keep fighting, beat cancer. And also shout out to the ladies' Final Four teams in college volleyball. All 4 number 1 seeds going to the Final Four, going for the national championship. Shout out to Pitt, Nebraska, Penn State, and Louisville. Conference showdowns. Pitt and Louisville in the ACC, and Nebraska and Penn State in the Big Ten. Congratulations, ladies. Let's see who wins that national title. And last but not least, since I'm from North Carolina, and this is for the home team, the home crowd. Shout out to Rod Brind'Amour. I would say one of the best coaches in the NHL, being honored by NC Governor Roy Cooper with the Order of the Longleaf Pine Award for excellence throughout the state and the community. Rod Brind'Amour is a beloved coach. Rod Brind'Amour, one of the best coaches in the NHL. The Carolina Hurricanes, a staple to the state of North Carolina, bringing North Carolina their first pro sports championship with Lord Stanley's Cup. Rod Brind'Amour, you're the man. Congratulations, sir. These are your shout outs for the weekend. Let's continue with the show. Now I'm going to rapid fire it to you guys and then I'm going to leave you alone. This segment I'm going to call Hit It and Quit It, which means that I'm going to be going fast on 3 different subjects here today. So we're going to go ahead and start with the NBA. First of all, shout out to my man Jason Colenso for this one. Make sure you watch his podcast, 3 from Deep, coming on Mondays at 12 o'clock p.m. for your lunch break on your Monday. So I saw something intriguing this weekend. I watched 2 games. 2 of those games had something to do with the 3-ball. It was the Chicago Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets, 2 teams I have an affinity for. They combined for 75 missed 3-pointers in one game. Then flip it over to Sunday, and we saw the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks going at each other, high-scoring affair. They combined for 48 3-pointers in one game. So what I'm thinking about here is with the NBA, the game has changed over the years. I remember being a young guy watching the game. The slam dunk was prevalent. You had guys going to the basket. The slam dunk was prevalent. The 3-ball was there, but the slam dunk was prevalent. Now, as the game has turned its tide, the 3-pointer has taken over. You got big guys taking threes. You got the forwards taking threes. You got point guards taking threes, shooting guards taking threes. There's 3-pointers all over the place. The game has changed. There are many people thinking that the reason why this has happened is why there's not a lot of audience. There's not a lot of participation in the NBA games, not a lot of viewership in the NBA games. This is what I posed to everyone. The 3-pointer is the new slam dunk. Many people are wowed by the unlimited range of Steph Curry, the spreading out that Victor Wembanyama does when he's able to take the 3-point shot at over 7 feet tall. KD being able to stretch the floor with how well he shoots the 3-ball, how he shoots it from 18 feet to mid-range. Mid-range pretty much is a dying art now. The mid-range was something that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were able to accomplish. The 3-ball was not really a big staple in their game. The 3-ball is prevalent. The game has changed. I'm not going to be that grumpy old fan that sits back and reminisces on the days where you had Dominique Wilkins, Dr. J, Sean Kemp, Michael Jordan that took it to the rack and jammed it with authority. Everybody loves a good posterization, but the 3-ball is prevalent. This is what the NBA does. Remember, the NBA is a business. Remember, the 3-ball is getting them a lot of viewership, getting them their money because people are seeing that unlimited range. They're seeing the 3-ball being shot. So the 3-ball is a staple of the NBA game. Who knows? We might have a game changer that might change the game back to what it is. But as far as that, the 3-ball is prevalent. The 3-ball is here. The 3-ball is getting the NBA paid. So if you don't like it, don't watch the game. Am I a big fan of it? Not really. I'm a balance of inside-outside game. That's one of the reasons why I'm a fan of women's basketball, because there's not a lot of 3-ball shooting like it is in the NBA. I'm a basketball guy till the day I die. College basketball, pro basketball, women's basketball. I'm going to watch it. But here's the thing right here, NBA. Bring back that big man play. Bring back that slam dunk, the posterization. The guys can shoot it. Yeah, sure. That's an arsenal to the game. But bring back that big man play. Ain't nothing wrong with a little big man basketball. Get big. Be able to crash some boards. Get back to the essence of basketball. Now let's pass it on to another segment here. So let's pass the ball to myself. Now let's get this college football here. After months of anticipation, after months of talking, we've all put our 2 cents in on all the shows here, and all of the sports people all around America have put in their 2 cents on who should win the Heisman Trophy, and college football finally crowned their winner, and it belongs to the 2-way player from the Colorado Buffaloes, Travis Hunter. Now, my thoughts on it are like this. I've been big on Ashton Genty's play at the running back position for Boise State. He was the runner-up. One of the episodes that I put up on QuickHits, I felt like whoever won the Maxwell Trophy was going to be the runner-up. And who won the Maxwell Trophy? Ashton Genty. So the Heisman goes to Travis Hunter, the 2-way player. Well, did I like this? I did. This is one of the closest Heisman Trophy races that we've had in a long time. Would the league have got it wrong had they gave it Ashton Jeanty? I don't think so. In this case here, it was a coin flip. This is a very close race. These two young men are incredible football players, representing their school very well. One thing I do want to point out, in this Heisman Trophy race, one of those players had a high-profile coach, and that was Travis Hunter, being coached by the man, Coach Prime. This is where I look at the league, and I think the league was in a rock and a hard place. The NCAA was in a rock and a hard place. Of course, you're going to have people out there saying, if Travis Hunter wouldn't have won the Heisman Trophy, it's a slight on Coach Prime. They don't want Coach Prime to be great. They don't want Coach Prime to be looked at as a top-tier coach in college football. Also, the fact that he won it, there were people out there saying the reason why he won it was because of his coach. Everybody, that young man played on both sides of the ball. Offense and defense took the majority of the snaps this year. This young man played his tail off. Wonderful player. He may not have been the best receiver, in my opinion. May not have been the best receiver in the league, but he was pretty daggum dynamic. May not have been the best corner in all of college football, but the man was dynamic. Was a lockdown guy on one side of the ball. It dictated where these quarterbacks threw the football. So it's not like they gave the Heisman to a bad player. They did not do that. He played very good football. In my argument for Ashton Jeanty, take him away from that Boise State offense, take him away from that Boise State team, how would the team have done? Do you think they would have been playing for a conference championship? I don't think so. Would they be playing with a first-round bye in the college football tournament? I don't think so. This man had a big impact on that Boise State team, but Travis Hunter also had a big impact on his team. So, am I satisfied with it? Absolutely. Because the quarterback didn't win it. College football did get it right. They couldn't go wrong with either one of those guys. Coach Prime took a 1-11 squad, got them into contention for the Big 12 championship. Hats off to Travis Hunter. Hats off to Coach Prime. But let Travis Hunter have his Heisman Trophy. Let him have his moment. Don't sit around here and say that he got it just because of his coach. That young man deserved that Heisman Trophy. He did very, very well. I wanted Ashton Jeanty to win it, but Travis Hunter, good job, my man. Now let's go ahead and get on that canvas and talk a little bit of wrestling. WWE's Saturday night main event. I enjoyed every bit of it. I actually watched it late because I was working, but I watched it on Monday. I thought it was a great event. I thought it did justice to WWE's Saturday night main event. The nostalgia feel, having legends inside of the building. It was a great affair. Hearing Jesse Ventura on the commentary, it was great. Joe Tessitore's bow tie, paying homage to Mean Gene Okerlund. It was wonderful. Everything was great. All the nuggets from the 80s when Saturday Night Main Event was prevalent and was on TV, bringing it back to the very first venue that Saturday Night Main Event was hosted at almost 40 years ago. It was great to see, and it was wonderful. Now, Jesse Ventura said something that I agreed with. The WWE is as popular, if not better. It is better than what it was 40 years ago. It has gotten absolutely better. I could not agree more. The WWE is doing great. But also, not only that, all of wrestling is doing great. Now, there were people out there that felt like Saturday Night Main Event wasn't all that great. I don't want to talk to those people. One thing that was said in one of our lives that we had a couple of months ago, where Brandon the guy and my man Malvin off of Mike were talking about when we had the Bash in Berlin pay-per-view. I believe it was Bash in Berlin. I'm not sure. We go back and look at it. But Bash in Berlin, when we were on that podcast, we talked about how us American wrestling fans are so spoiled. We have wrestling on almost every day of the week. You've got Monday Night Raw, you got NXT, you got On Wednesday Night Dynamite for AEW, if you have Access TV, you get New Japan, you get TNA. Then we get SmackDown on Fridays. We've got Collision with the AEW. Then we have PLEs almost every month. Us as American wrestling fans, we need to stop being spoiled and enjoy what we've got here. Wrestling has gotten better from the time that Triple H has taken over till now. The wrestling has gotten better in the WWE, especially because WWE was lagging because of a certain man that I'm not going to say who was running the place. And he ran it in the ground. But now wrestling is getting back to what it is in the essence. You have long-term storytelling because people love great stories. But also these athletes are coming up. We got some great athletes out there. So, of course, for everybody out there that may be tuning into our sports podcast and wonder why MD, Sean Lucas, mouthing off with Mike, Chris DeLuca, Wayne the Model Thomas, myself included, always find a time to talk wrestling. The reason being is because wrestling is getting back to being cool again. Wrestling was always cool in our eyes, but wrestling is getting back to being cool. One thing I want to do and say to you guys and plead with you is that when Monday Night Raw goes to Netflix, January 6th of 2025, I implore you to begin watching. You will not be sorry. I implore you to start watching WWE. And also with that too, that should be your New Year's resolution, to go watch wrestling. Start watching wrestling. Understand why. Mouthing off with Mike, MD, Sean Lucas, Wayne Mile Thomas, myself, all the guests that we've had on the nightcap, on Mouth Off of Mike's nightcap. Why we talk about this. Go and watch it. And not only that, if you got wrestling in your area, go watch it in your area. See why we love it so much. And understand why I continue to say that professional wrestling is the ultimate gentleman sport. That's all I have for you guys. Tune in Friday. I'm making college football picks for the college football playoff. You don't want to miss that. So in between time, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait till Friday. But make sure you watch Friday. Peace, y'all.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's true.